NBA players who are finished have been making this mistake for years. Until now, this guy here has changed everything. Kemba Walker just left the NBA, probably forever, to go play overseas, and he is getting laughed at and trolled all over social media. Just like you, I go on Twitter and see tweets like this. Sad how Kemba Walker went from an NBA All-Star to overseas player. Apparently, according to NBA fans, leaving the NBA to go overseas is the most humiliating thing in the world. Every time anyone has a bad game, NBA Twitter is photoshopping them in Shanghai Sharks jerseys. The memes are funny, especially when it's Dylan Brooks. But it's time to kill this narrative that the NBA is the end-all, be-all in basketball, because in 2023, that just isn't the case. Look at John Wall's reaction to being linked with a EuroLeague team. He's acting like someone that's too good for the EuroLeague, forgetting he hasn't played 50 or more games in an NBA season since 2017. John Wall is unemployed for a reason, and that reason is NBA teams don't want him. Because if they did want him, he'd be on a team and not Twitter. Let's look at Kemba Walker's situation. Yes, he is a former All-Star, but at 33 years old, he has played less than 50 games in the past 2 years. He is a shell of the player he was in his prime. The Knicks didn't want him, he was bought out by the Pistons, and he was cut by the Dallas Mavericks. NBA free agency has passed. Nobody, not even his beloved Hornets, tried to sign him. Realistically speaking, Kemba Walker's NBA career is probably over, and the slim chance that an NBA team did pick him up, chances are he wasn't going to have any real impact in 2023 and beyond. So instead of being stubborn and clinging on to the past like so many of these other NBA players, Kemba Walker has swallowed his pride and made the best decision of his career. Kemba Walker going overseas is not some tragic ending to a great career. It is the best decision he could have made, and I'm going to explain to you why. Kemba Walker is joining Monaco, the champions of France who finished third in the EuroLeague last season. They are the same team that swept Victor's team in the finals. This isn't some random overseas team, this ain't the Guangdong Tigers. They are one of the best basketball teams in the world outside of the NBA. Kemba Walker is in a better situation now than anywhere he could have gone in the NBA. Monaco in southern France is one of the best places to live in the entire world. It is a tax haven, no income tax, so every penny he makes at Monaco is going straight in his pocket. And by the way, he is making more money at Monaco than what he'd have made in the NBA. Because he's at a point in his career where the only NBA deal he is getting is a non-guaranteed vet minimum, which is $2.6 million a season. At Monaco, he is going to be one of the EuroLeague's highest earning players, so financially, he will earn more overseas than he would in the NBA. We have to assume that money is the number one priority, so you can check that box. Secondly, playing time. Kemba Walker ain't guaranteed no playing time in the NBA. Not anymore, he is a backup point guard at best. Whereas at Monaco, he is going to be a star, he is going to play, he is going to have the ball in his hands and will have the opportunity to be the Kemba Walker we all love to watch. In my opinion, playing and being out there on the court is the most important thing besides money. If I was a professional, I would want to play, especially towards the end of my career. I don't want to put all that work in to sit on the bench. I would want to give everything I have out there on the court. So playing time, which would be my second priority, yeah, you have to check that box as well. Now the third priority is competitiveness and winning. At Monaco, Kemba Walker is going to have the opportunity to win titles, not just domestically in France, but on a European scale as well. Monaco are EuroLeague championship contenders, meaning there is a lot to play for. The majority of people also underestimate the standard of the EuroLeague. The best teams in EuroLeague are beating the worst NBA teams. If any one of you watching down below in the comments cares to dispute that, I can make a whole video backing that up if you really want it. But back to Kemba, let me ask you guys, if the money is similar, would you rather be a backup point guard in the NBA, third choice for whatever random team will take you, or be a star player on a championship contender in EuroLeague? I know my answer, and it's the same as Kemba's. You mean to tell me I'm gonna get paid more, get to play more, and have the opportunity to win overseas, but instead I'm gonna hang around the NBA, bounce from team to team until I'm forced into retirement because nobody wants me anymore? By the way, did I mention that Monaco is stunning? Look at the place. Realistically speaking, how many places in America would be better to live than there? I really hope that Kemba Walker can start a trend for NBA players on the way out the door, because so many of these guys in their 30s feel like they have a lot to offer the game, but they spend their final few years hanging around the NBA, jumping from team to team, and they never last. I'll give you the perfect example right now, Isaiah Thomas. He is a guy like Kemba Walker who was once an all-star. He averaged 28 points per game in 2017. Since then, he has played for the Cavs, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Wizards, the Pelicans, the Lakers again, the Mavericks, and most recently the Hornets. In the NBA world, Isaiah Thomas has been irrelevant for at least 4 years now. I mean, in the last 4 NBA seasons, Isaiah has played just 26 NBA games for 4 teams. It's not that he's not good anymore. When he goes down to the G League, he tears it up. It's like he's stuck somewhere in the middle. He is too good for the G League, but not good enough for the NBA. But one thing Isaiah has never tried is going overseas. He seems to have this NBA or bust mentality and has wasted the last 4 years of his career chasing an NBA dream that isn't gonna happen. He may get another 10-day contract somewhere, but at 34 years old, his days in the NBA are done. Isaiah should have done what Kemba is doing now 3 years ago. Go to the EuroLeague, make millions of dollars, compete, be a superstar again. Is that not a better alternative than wasting the last few years of your athletic prime, working your ass off, staying in shape all year round, waiting for a 10-day contract, you play 3 times for 10 minutes, and inevitably get cut by the end of it?
These niggas gave up on me.
Listen, Isaiah, I feel your pain. You were done dirtier than anyone, and you didn't deserve that. But if the NBA gave up on you, fuck them. Go play in the EuroLeague in front of those fans. Trust me, you'll feel more appreciated there than anywhere you've ever played in your life. Even Boston, I promise you that. Yesterday it was revealed that Kemba Walker wasn't the only big name NBA star coming to EuroLeague, because John Wall was in talks with Olimpia Milano. This rumour had everyone hyped. This team had just signed Nikola Mirotic, arguably the best player in Europe and a guy that was pretty nice in the NBA too. With Nikola Mirotic and John Wall on the same team, Milano would be EuroLeague contenders. We could potentially see a Final Four matchup with John Wall and Kemba Walker going head to head. And that's not all. If Milano played Monaco in the Final Four, Mirotic would finally have his opportunity to get his lick back on Kemba, who Monaco reminded Milano on Twitter did their franchise player like this many moons ago.
Oh my goodness. Big fella, just stand still. Don't try to move the puppets and keep up with Kemba. You're not going to win that battle.
John Wall is 32, Nikola Mirotic is in his prime. They would be the best duo in EuroLeague. They could win multiple championships. John Wall could be MVP. He could deliver Milano's first EuroLeague championship since 1988. It makes all the sense in the world. John Wall is never going to be a star again in the NBA. He's never going to receive another big contract. If he just wants to hoop and build upon his legacy in the sport, the thing to do is not ring chase in the NBA.
I just got an A on the group project.
Nobody cares that Dwight Howard nabbed a ring well past his prime. What he should do is go to EuroLeague, hoop while he's still good, become a legend overseas, live in Milan, one of the best cities in Italy, and better his chances of making the Hall of Fame. But John Wall swiftly shut down speculation on Twitter, closing the door on a move to Europe. So yeah, that idea was fun while it lasted. The alternative for John Wall is probably getting on another NBA team. Best case scenario, he ends up with a ring that nobody cares about, and most likely case scenario, he bounces around several teams like Kemba did before realizing it's over and he ain't that guy no more. Another player who needs to let it go is Stephenson. He is 32 years old, currently playing in Puerto Rico, and it's come out recently that Make 'Em Dance Lance wants a last dance on the NBA stage, specifically in New York or Brooklyn. Stephenson, I hate to break it to you, Chief, but your days of being a player of any significance in the NBA are over. Let's stop pretending that Stephenson has ever been good on any team besides the Indiana Pacers. 10 years ago, he was a borderline all-star, good player on a great team. He got the bag in Charlotte, did this.
Win on the line, Stephenson to take it.
And nothing else. He lost his starting spot in Charlotte of all places. He is the definition of a journeyman. He's played with the Pacers, Hornets, Clippers, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Timberwolves, Pacers again, Lakers, Hawks, Pacers again for a third time. Do we really need to see Stephenson back in the NBA on the Knicks or Nets? Does anyone think he's gonna go to New York or Brooklyn and have this fairy tale homecoming and be a role player of relevance? No, if they do sign him, it'll be a 1-year non-guaranteed deal and he'll probably be back in China or Puerto Rico a few months later. I understand Stephenson's problem. He's too good for Puerto Rico and China, but not quite good enough for the NBA, not anymore. So why not find the middle ground? Have some stability for the first time in your life. Go EuroLeague, make comparable, possibly more money, and in the last few years of your career, you'll actually have something to play for. It's funny because some of the star players in EuroLeague right now reject NBA contracts every season. I'll give you the best example right now. Shane Larkin. He was a backup point guard on the Celtics in 2018. And he has said he ain't staying in the NBA to be a third choice point guard. Shane Larkin has spent the last 5 years playing overseas. He plays for Anadolu Efes. He makes almost $4 million a season. Almost double the veteran minimum in the NBA. He is getting paid more to play more, and Shane Larkin is a superstar in the EuroLeague. He was the leading scorer in the finals. He has made an all EuroLeague team twice and has won 2 EuroLeague championships. He also holds the record for most points scored in a single EuroLeague game with 49 points. Over the years, NBA teams have noticed what Larkin is doing overseas, but Larkin isn't interested. And when you think about it, it makes sense. Why would you take less money to go back to the NBA and be a role player? It doesn't make any sense, and that's why he won't go back. What also doesn't make sense is why guys like Isaiah Thomas, Stephenson, and all these other NBA journeymen won't just swallow their pride and come to Europe. Larkin isn't the only one who's revived his career in Europe. Shabazz Napier has as well. He played alongside Kemba in college. He actually helped Kemba make this decision. It shouldn't take knowing a guy who plays there from college for NBA players in this position to make this decision. It's common sense that isn't too common. That's why I'm making this video. That's why you need to like the video, and that's why you need to subscribe. Now I'm going to say something that sounds crazy, but when you really deep it, it isn't as wild as you may think. Kemba Walker's move to Europe could make him a Hall of Famer. Whoa, chill, let me explain. You gotta remember, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. There are guys who never played in the NBA ever in their life who are Hall of Famers. Kemba Walker could be the best player in EuroLeague. What if he wins MVPs and championships at Monaco? Do you know what that would do for his resume? Try and look at his resume not from an NBA perspective, but from a basketball perspective. He was a McDonald's All-American in high school, and Hoops fans know what he did in college. At UConn, Kemba Walker was a star. He led the nation in scoring his junior year, averaging 26 points per game. He was Big East Tournament MVP, won the Bob Cousy Award given to the men's best point guard. He was first team All-American, NCAA Final Four Most Outstanding Player, and an NCAA champion. People forget who Kemba Walker is. Let's take a moment down memory lane. because UConn had no business winning the championship that year. They lost 7 of their final 11 games in a stacked Big East tournament. They won 5 games in 5 days, and against top-seeded Pittsburgh in the quarter-final, Kemba did this.
Got a mismatch. Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Cardiac. Kemba does it again.
But that was just in the Big East tournament. What Kemba and co did in the NCAA tournament was even crazier. They beat John Calipari's Kentucky and Brad Stevens' Butler to be crowned national champions. I say all of that to say Kemba is immortalized at the collegiate level, and he is also immortalized in the NBA, specifically in Charlotte. Kemba Walker may have only been a 3-time All-Star and All-NBA player 1 time. However, he is widely considered the greatest player in Charlotte Hornets history, and in all likelihood will have his jersey retired in Charlotte. Let's not pretend Kemba wasn't nice in the NBA. Other than Kyrie Irving, he had the best handle. He averaged 26 points per game in his prime. His career high is 60 points. That has only been done by very few players in NBA history. It's been done a lot by the same guys multiple times, aka Wilt Chamberlain, but pretty much every other player who's scored 60 in a single NBA game is a Hall of Famer. Kemba Walker had 2 good years in Boston, averaging 20 a game. No, he never won an NBA championship. No, he never made the finals. Matter of fact, he only made the playoffs 4 times in his career. But greatness doesn't have to be measured in championships and winning. During the darkest days in franchise history, the Bobcats years, Kemba gave the fans a show worth paying money to see. In North Carolina, he is a legend, and that's more than you can say for most players in NBA history. Not everyone is in GOAT debates. Not everyone has to be held to the highest of standards. Sometimes, if your legacy is that you were good enough and impactful enough to be remembered, then it's more than enough. And Kemba Walker has had an impact at every level of basketball. At UConn and in Charlotte, he will never be forgotten. And now he has the opportunity to make an impact overseas. Monaco have never won the EuroLeague. If Kemba is the missing piece and he can deliver a championship to them, then Kemba Walker will be immortalized in southern France as well. Is that not, by the Basketball Hall of Fame standards, a Hall of Fame career? You did it in college, you did it in the NBA, and you did it overseas? At every level of the sport, you were a star and had an impact? It would make for a very strong case. The NBA has a list of active NBA players and the probability of them being in the Hall of Fame. Kemba Walker is 28th on the list with a 15% chance. John Wall is 25th on the list with a 32% chance. At this point of their NBA careers, neither of them are going to do anything in the NBA to increase their chances. So from this point forward, who is more likely to better their chances of making the Hall of Fame? Kemba Walker playing on one of the best teams in EuroLeague? Or John Wall riding the pine in the NBA? But listen, if you hear anyone referring to Kemba Walker's situation as sad or a tragedy, go ahead and show them this video, because the narrative needs to change. A lot of these NBA has-beens should be playing in the EuroLeague right now, while they still have something left in the tank. There is no shame in it, and we need to stop acting like it's a serious downgrade, because it isn't. If you've made it up to this point in the video, let me know your thoughts and feedback down below in the comments. Is Kemba Walker a Hall of Famer? Have a think about it. If you've made it up to this point in the video, subscribe to the channel. And on that note, it's DKM signing out. Until next time, and peace.